What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Lockdown Universe, home of the bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO, legend, and paranormal lore. Welcome back, welcome back. Happy to be back. Hopefully you guys are doing well and taking care of yourselves. So, today's the story of the day, is these shipping containers that are being found everywhere across the globe. What do these shipping containers hold? Well, they hold everything from meat, like big pieces of huge containers of meat that are cooled in air-conditioned units, to different textiles, all kinds of textiles. So the question is, who's doing this and why? So where have these been seen? These have been seen. One of the most remarkable ones is actually on the shores of Jamaica. Washed up on the shores of Jamaica is a humongous shipping container. And we're talking about shipping containers, right? We're talking about those containers that you see on the ports that are on the both coasts, right? Of America, coast of China, wherever they come from. The problem is that these shipping containers don't have any identifying information about where they come from. They don't have anybody looking for them. They're not locked, so you can just open them. And they have perfectly preserved meat in them. Well, who needs meat more than, countries that could use it? A few years back, there was a report of a shipping container that ended up in Jamaica, but it was actually supposed to go to Haiti, and it had some poisoned meat in it. Interestingly enough, who would have poisoned meat and sent it to Haiti? Well, we know that there's all kinds of stories about different governments around the world, and different operations that have been trying to take out different political leaders, but not necessarily entire countries or big populations of countries. In Chicago, there's been reports of containers, huge crates of guns just showing up in back alleys, and people wonder why Chicago is like the gun violence murder capital of the United States. Well, they have all these random shipments of weapons that are just dropped off in heavily criminally active areas and dropped off. So why would these huge containers of meat be just dropped off in Jamaica or in New York or in various states around America as well? Not only are they being dropped off in random places like shores, but they're also being dropped off in neighborhoods near train tracks. And they're just dropped off in neighborhoods. What is going on? So we have to start theorizing, because we can't, according to these reports, they cannot track the initial location that it was shipped from, and they can't track the destination location either. So one has to wonder, who the hell's shipping these? Well, who has the money to ship an entire container of meat and not find it? Right? That's the big question. So my theory is that it could be threefold. It could be three things. Either A, we have a Robin Hood situation on our hands where this meat is not poisoned, it's perfectly good and preserved, and somebody along the supply chain, either in engineering or data construction or data engineering, shipped one of these things to a place that they felt needed it, in multiple places around the world. That's a potential possibility. Another potential theory is that this could be a benevolent billionaire that just says, hey, you know what? I want to do good things. I don't need it to come back to me. The people that I'm going to work with and ship with, I'm going to remain anonymous, and my anonymity will be safe, and I'll just ship these containers off to places that I think need help. It's called philanthropy. Another potential, more nefarious reason could be the fact that there could be people that want these communities taken out. So they send this potentially quote-unquote free stuff out, and they might have poisoned it. That's not unheard of either. The government has has our government and probably other governments as well have conducted different operations throughout the years. The most notable would be the San Francisco Bay Area bacteria experiment operation, where they filled up gas and filled it up with bacteria to see how long it would take to get through and how many people it could infect. And they literally infected people through different trains, different modes of transportation throughout the city, and they tracked it along the waste lines, the wastewater and things like this. And what did they find out? They found out that like they exposed 600,000 people to this bacteria. It was supposed to be a harmless bacteria, which I don't know if it was, but that's what they said. And the goal was just to see, hey, could we, how fast could we infect people? How fast could we potentially be affected if there was some sort of chemical attack on the city or chemical attack within the United States? Well, a lot of people think these containers full of meat are a test, right? They're testing people out. They're seeing what would happen. What would people do? Well, I'll tell you what people will do. If they sent them off to like poor areas, and everybody's poor these days, the economy is horrible, then what's going to happen? They're going to eat it, right? I think they're just going to eat it. They can cook it up as long as it's refrigerated and they can get it off of the train or off of the shipping container. They're going to eat it. I guess the question is, what's the end goal if this is nefarious? Are they just trying to see what people will do? Is it just an experiment to see, hey, how much can we just give away free stuff and people will eat it? And how quickly could we poison it? I mean, they could easily do that pretty quickly, right? I mean, they don't even have to do that. I mean, I don't think that that's what this is, because they could have done that with, the COVID shots. They could have done that with COVID itself. They could have done it with all kinds of things. They could aerate some disease into the air, and it would be catchy. So if they were trying to take out huge swaths of people, I don't think they would just be trying to infect them with meat, because quickly people would figure out that the meat is bad, and they'd throw it all out. So is this some sort of like celebrity giving back to the public and just trying to be anonymous? Is this Elon Musk doing some sort of Doge meat giveaway? There's a lot of weird things that are going on in the world right now, and I don't know if they're connected, but we have this blue rain and even purple rain going on around the country. From the shores of Texas to purple rain in Denver to California, and people drinking it, and it's like intoxicating them, and they feel like they're going into another dimension, almost like it's like DMT, where DMT is a molecule that is created that allows you to, go into another dimension, start seeing different dimensions for like 15 minutes, and you come back to normal. It's like a really fast trip, but it's extremely powerful too. You break through reality. It's really weird. I haven't done it, but that's just what I read and have seen in different podcasts. So what is going on? This reminds me of another story where this was like probably 4 years ago, maybe 5, where a bunch of people got these cards, and the cards had like alien writing on them, and people all thought, well, this is really weird. What the hell? It was like a black card with green, like hieroglyphic alien looking writing on it. And everybody thought, damn, well, this is like a conspiracy, right? And then ended up being just like a video game promotion thing. And it just got given up quickly. I don't think a video game promotion is just going to be giving out humongous containers of meat. I mean, that'd be really expensive, a hell of a lot more expensive than just sending out little birthday cards with alien writing on them. They weren't birthday cards, but imagine the cost of a birthday card's like $3.99 to like $7. I mean, it's just a lot cheaper than sending out meat, that's for sure. Not to mention the fact that there's plenty of vegetarians out there too, right? So they wouldn't eat that. So I guess the question is, what the hell is going on? There's so much stuff going on in the world that I could just like do an episode on crazy shit going on in the world today. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to roll with this and see how it goes. I think that it's fun to think about. I think it's interesting. If it happened in my neighborhood and nobody came looking for it, I would think that that's really bizarre. And I'm sure a lot of people do. I mean, if we're talking about just like weird stuff happening, I mean, off of a Brinks truck in Chicago or in the Chicago suburbs, one humongous bag dropped off of the back of an armored car, and only 6 people were around, and they all gathered up $300,000. And that doesn't seem like it just, was luck. That seemed like it was like meant to be, right? So I think that everything happens for a reason. I think there are mistakes, and that happens too. But when you have multiple different storage containers just getting dropped off in areas that they shouldn't be, nobody looking for them, nobody coming to pick them up, they're still being refrigerated by a unit that's... So these units, shipping containers have units that are able to continuously run off of a battery or, I don't know, backup power supply and keep everything cold for a time, but it's going to run out eventually, right? So it's very bizarre. It's very bizarre. I mean, and we're talking about meat too. I mean, this is kind of like a weird scenario to think about. I didn't really think about this. Going back to an episode that I did a while back called Space Cows and Gel, I think it was. Well, Space Cows referred to multiple different alien abductees reporting that they saw in these alien ships with hybrids on them, alien hybrids, alien human hybrids, right? Grays typically, so they look half gray, half human, or mostly gray and a little bit human. The aliens also conferred, telepathically told these abductees that they were creating space cows because that's what humans ate. That there was some nutritional factor in there that humans needed. So they were creating, like 3D or genetically creating these space cows for their little hybrid babies, little hybrid children, and they would give them to them. So they're basically creating space Big Macs, right? And giving them to their hybrid children. Well, what would happen if they wanted to give away their free meat? What would happen if they genetically modified this meat to just be given to, the planet of the apes down here, and us hungry apes would eat it? And it's the beginning of their hybridization on Earth program, where if we eat this meat, it would genetically alter our DNA to become more alien-like. Or, if you want to think of it in a more benevolent way, what if they're trying to just treat us? Not in like a, hey kids, let's go have some ice cream scenario, but what if they're trying to treat some of our illnesses through meat? They know that we're not going to just like, hey, take a bunch of injections, a bunch of syringes and just inject ourselves with the cure. But if they put the cure in the meat and then we just ate it, then it would cure some of the issue, right? Maybe there's something we don't know. There's a story about ourselves. It's a guy named Dan Burrish who used to work for the Air Force. He's a whistleblower from back in the 90s and early 2000s, and he stated that there's humans that have come back from multiple points in the future, 42,000 years, 45,000 years, and 50,000 years, I think it was. And at each point, there was some critical mass issue where they couldn't solve an illness, and if they came back to this time period, they could solve the illness. Strangely enough, we had COVID, right? Well, maybe they knew that they couldn't just give us a magic pill because we wouldn't take it. But we'll definitely eat meat because we're big dumb meat eaters, right? So we'll eat the meat, and then it'll maybe cure the issue that they were having, and maybe they're testing it on these different various people, and maybe these various people would then transfer the what's the word, the immunity to people around them. Just like you can transfer an illness to somebody by sneezing on them, maybe you can transfer a cure to people just by being around them too. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know if that's true, but I'm just thinking. So, what are your thoughts on these meat-bearing shipping containers? These other containers. A lot of people in the comments section said, if they're blankets, don't put them on, referring to the fact that some of the colonizers in early America gave the Native Americans blankets, and those blankets had smallpox on them and killed them. And that's something you got to be wary of, right? We always got to be worried about the Candyman at Halloween giving us, some spiked candy or something like that. So, I'd like to hear what you have to say. If you're still listening to the podcast, I'd love to hear your comments. I know I've asked for comments in the past. Some people do. I got a guy named Sam that always does. Jessica always does. A couple other people do. But I'd like to hear more. I'd like to hear what you have to say. I'm doing a lot on TikTok. If you want to see some interesting videos, come over there. The nice thing about doing stuff on TikTok is people really engage and communicate over there. Whereas I'll do podcasts. I like doing podcasts. They're fun for me, but I don't get the same amount of interaction that I do over there. So if you guys want to come over and interact over there, by all means, go ahead and check out some of the videos. Just look up Lockdown Universe. I'm sure I'm the only Lockdown Universe over there. If you want to look up Lockdown, I think it's Lockdown 247 over there on TikTok. You can check it out. So anyway, thanks for listening. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves physically, spiritually, emotionally, following through on your hobbies and your goals and your dreams, and doing whatever it takes to, make yourself happy. We got a very short time period on this earth, and things are happening at the speed of light. So anyway, I want you guys to take care of yourselves, have a good day, and continue to question the universe around you. Obviously, we've got to question these shipping containers. All right, guys, peace out. Lockdown Universe out.